Miss Elizabeth looks tired.
Oh.
In this start of this match. She looks exhausted.
This is like one of those interviews. She gives a quick interview, and it's like someone asking for a kidnapped child to be returned. She's so doe-eyed and, oh, my Lord. She is good. She was unlike anyone in wrestling, and actually, there's never really been anyone in wrestling like her, where she was this very professional, well-spoken, polite, decent, very middle class.
Yeah.
Elegant lady.
She wasn't like badass, she wasn't kind of like common, she didn't necessarily have a gimmick, she was just this angelic beauty.
No, she wasn't she, and there's never been anyone like that again. Probably, I think you couldn't really do that now because it would be boring. People would boo the hell out of anyone doing that. You know, it's a very limited character, but at the time, she was seen as being the most beautiful woman in the world in wrestling, and she had a totally different gimmick for everyone else. Watching it was actually really effective. I thought, you know, I'd always sort of thought of her as just being a useless manager in that she sits there and looks sad and occasionally is in peril. And this, she was really sort of good.
Yeah.
Don't know, it felt like something I was watching from a sort of bad Oscar winner.
But she was in, like, a neutral corner. I don't know how that even works, but, like, she was like... her kind of thing was, I hope nobody gets hurt.
Yes.
So I was going, oh, you didn't watch Bobby the Brain Heenan get fucking
They did quite... No.
Get dropped.
Yeah. They do a funny sort of balance here, which is actually sort of quite weirdly grown up, which is they go, her man is Randy Savage, but she's watching him turn to the dark side.
Yeah.
And so she's pleading for Hulk Hogan to sort of help them and pleading to Randy to listen to reason. And again, it's sort of quite complex. It's essentially the plot of The Last Jedi, which was written and performed, if I may say, much more proficiently by 3 people, 2 of whom won steroids.
You're breaking my heart. You're going down a path I can't follow. Stop. Stop now. Come back. I love you.
Liar!
No!
You're with him! You brought him here to kill me!
No!
Let her go!
Brother! You're not a believer in the demandments, brother. Brother! I hate you!
But she does do a really nice job. She actually adds that good frizz on there, because there is sort of this thing about it's bigger than just these 2 men with a grudge. There's also a woman caught at the heart of it. I thought it was really nice.
Yeah.
You know, and they steer away from sort of going, and if Hogan wins, he gets to marry her. You know, which would make it hokey and terrible. And let me tell you, they still do fucking matches like that these days. It's a good match. I mean, it's actually, up to this day, it's Hogan's best WrestleMania match.
Right, okay.
He's really good. I mean, Savage is just a great opponent for him.
But Savage is kind of given so much to good WrestleMania matches, it
Hasn't
seems.
he?
Like,
Yeah.
he just does everything properly. And
he really does.
He makes people look really good.
He just looks like he's doing it in reality. There used to be this big thing in wrestling where people suspected, and it certainly looking sort of pre-1980s, people believed that wrestling might be fake in some way, but they always thought, but the one thing that isn't is the main event. The main event has to be real because it's for the belt. And it's a funny thing in this, you sort of go, God, they ramped up the intensity, and it just looks a different class from everything you've seen before. Randy Savage really looks like he's trying to A, win, and B, kill Hulk Hogan. Great. and he does such a good job at it. He's fast, he just looks demented. And it's, you know, you can't say enough of him. I've always sort of started taking Randy Savage for granted, but it's watching this back, I've gone, he's really, really good. And he's really good in this match. You know, it's a shame for him, he has a year with the belt where everything is, you know, beautiful.
Yeah.
And then you lose, and then he becomes the big bad guy.
Yeah.
So he's still working money. Problem is, as a bad guy, you're working a lot harder because you're taking all the bumps, people like Hulk Hogan who aren't going to be doing all of the stuff that you do.
Right.
But I just thought he was great. It's funny, isn't it? As a kid, I preferred Hogan. I'd watch this and go, this is great. And I think that Savage was not very good. I don't know. You know, I'm sort of contradicting myself about, you know, who's good when you're young and, you know, who's not. But watching him now, I just think he's brilliant. It must be funny when you're Randy Savage, when you watch yourself not being number 1 anymore, and then you watch the match back and go, but I'm loads better than the other guy.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't understand
I'm making him look good. How much money have I just put in that man's pocket because I'm making him look good?
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It really is. And everyone's going, isn't Hogan good?
Yeah.
And you go, well, do you know, mate, I could have done that with a mop. You know?
And after expending all that energy, Jess, he goes out there and does this for his fans. Thanking the man upstairs who made it all possible.
It ends with Hulk Hogan thanking the man upstairs, which is, I thought, like the roof of the Trump City Plaza. Funny place to have a steroid lab.
Good.
Zing! Proper joke.
Take that.
Proper joke.
His hair's gone by this point, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
It's like, not even, does anything happen?
Oh, let me tell you what happens. The bandana years.
Yeah.
He begins wearing bandanas all the time.
Right, because he's got a bandana in the film. Dough rags.
Yeah.
Hulk Hogan had a restaurant.
Yeah.
And he wouldn't allow people with door rags on their heads. And you're not allowed to wear jeans around your ankles. It was basically an anti-black thing.
Yeah, he did.
And it was kind of like...
anti-gang culture, I think he coached it.
Yeah.
Well, it's not like Hulk Hogan's ever said anything that could be construed as being racist.
I know, right?
I was very mad at my daughter, and I had no idea I was being taped. I was upset over a situation that happened between her and her boyfriend, and I had no idea I was being taped.
Are you a racist?
No, I'm not. I'm not a racist. I never should have said what I said. It was wrong. I'm embarrassed by it. But a lot of people need to realize that I had no idea I was being taped.
The other funny thing about this is Randy Savage and the Hall of Fame.
Right.
So Randy Savage, basically he leaves WWE in about 1993 to go to WCW. And Vince McMahon is famous for falling out with people, but ultimately patching things up so they can all make money again.
Yeah.
So Bret Hart has a fist fight with Vince McMahon over being screwed out of the belt and goes to WCW.
Yeah.
Well, Vince eventually brings him back. Hulk Hogan, he leaves, he runs the other company, they make millions, they try and put WWF out of business, he brings him back, they make money. Randy Savage leaves to go to WCW, and Vince McMahon never, ever speaks to him again. He never brings him back.
Amazing.
He nixes everything. So there's just a thing from John Laurinaitis, who used to be the sort of in charge of talent, and he did an interview where he said, I actually brought up doing a Macho Man Randy Savage DVD.
Yeah.
He said, and Vince just goes funny. He said he just looks into the distance and then just doesn't mention it, and he's off. So there's always been this thing about why, out of every single person that Vince McMahon fell out with, why was Randy Savage the only one that he never ever made it up with? There's lots of different rumours about why it was. What officially happens, Randy Savage is a colour commentator. He wants to wrestle more when he's at his tail end of his WWF career in about 92. He's getting older. And Vince McMahon is like, we need to make new stars and things, so why don't you do colour commentary? It won't surprise you to hear that Randy Savage is one of the worst colour commentators of all time, but they keep him on for about a year, and he's unlistenable. He says, I want to wrestle more. I want to wrestle like Shawn Michaels and stuff, but they don't really go to him, yes, you can get back on the road. So he ends up jumping to WCW, where Hogan has gone, and he gets a lot of money for doing so. And there's been a couple of things that Vince McMahon apparently never forgave him, because he said they'd done a handshake deal, and Savage then left. Savage, at the time in the early 90s, had been a spokesman for Slim Jim, which is a beef jerky
That's
snack.
right, yes, I think I've seen an advert with him in.
Do a Slim Jim! Can't do the impression anymore. And there were some rumours that because he'd left for WCW, Slim Jim took away their sponsorship and advertising money from WWE to take it to WCW.
Right.
So those are some of the things that people have said are possibles. But they've said people have cost Vince McMahon far more money than that. And people have done far more things. Hogan was far more instrumental in trying to put WWE out of business by working at WCW than Randy Savage ever was. So people just don't know what the reason behind it is.
I'd like to think it's Slim Jims. Are they salty? Oh, yeah!
There's a thing they keep coming back to, and it's a rumour that has spread over the last few years.
Right.
So I'm not going to go into what the rumour is. It's very easy to search for it.
Yes, okay.
But it's the thing that people say, this is the reason that Savage and McMahon were never able to come together.
Right.
So he was only Hall of Famed after his death.
Okay.
I stand before the Hall of Fame in honor of my brother, who seized each Carpe Diem day with passion like no other. Born Randy Mario Poffo, he became...
I am going to listen to this back very, very carefully. And I am going to take bits out and maybe even put noises over to make sure we are absolutely bloody sure that we're covered.
Yeah, if not watertight. You couldn't fit a Slim Jim in between the words.
The important thing is, let's not let this cloud WrestleMania 5 for us. Oh, yeah! God, somehow he's back. The slander was so great, he came back to life. Oh, my Lord.